Pension rules, general conditions for central government employees. Disclaimer: this training material is for use in training of officials. It should not be referred as guideline of government. In case of any variance in this training material, the government guidelines, rules, laws shall prevail. I had prepared a series of educational videos on pension. This is the second one, and it includes the general conditions for pension. This educational video contains various provisions of Central Civil Services Pension Rules 1972 in a comprehensive manner. An attempt has been made to make this video an updated one by incorporating the latest changes. Attempts has also been made to cover the various provisions of pension rules. However, it is recommended to make a use of Central Civil Services Pension Rules for more details. The Rule 1 is about short title and commencement. Central Civil Services Pension Rules 1972 come into force on 1st June 1972. Rule 2 is about the application. These rules shall apply to the government servants appointed on or before 31st December 2003 and subscribing to the General Provident Fund. Rule 5 to Rule 12 discuss the general conditions for pension. Rule 5.1, it says, regulation of pension or family pension. Any claim to pension or family pension shall be regulated by the provisions of these rules in force at the time when a government servant retires, retired, discharged, is allowed to resign from service or dies, as the case may be. Rule 5.2, it says about the retirement on last working day. The day on which a government servant retires or is retired or is discharged or is allowed to resign from service shall be treated as his last working day. The day of death shall also be treated as a working day. Now we will see the different directives issued by the Government of India for Rule 5. Day of death of an official or an extraordinary leave, earned leave on medical ground to be treated as a part of leave. The government servant immediately before his or her death while in service had been absent from duty on extraordinary leave on medical grounds. The day of death of the government servant will be treated as part of leave which he has been availing on the day previous to the day of death. Rule 7.1. It is about the limitations on number of pensions. Government servants shall not earn two pensions in the same service or post at the same time by the same continuous service. Rule 7.2. It is about the limitations on number of pensions. Except as provided in Rule 19, a government servant retired on superannuation pension or retiring pension is subsequently re-employed shall not be entitled to a separate pension or gratuity for a period of his re-employment. Rule 8.1a is about the pension subject to future good conduct. Future good conduct shall be implied condition of every grant of pension and its continuance. Rule 8.1b. It is about the convicted for a crime or grave misconduct. If a pensioner is convicted for a serious crime or is found guilty of a grave misconduct, the appointing authority, by giving order in writing, can withhold or withdraw the pension or part of it, which should not be reduced below the Rs 9,000 thereof, permanently or for a specified period. Serious crime includes a crime involving an offence under the Official Secrets Act 1923. Grave misconduct includes the communication or disclosure of any secret official code or password or any sketch, plan, model, article, note, document, or information, such as is mentioned in the Section 5 of the Official Secrets Act 1923. Rule 9 is about right of President to withhold or withdraw the pension. President can order a recovery from a pension or gratuity of the whole or part of any pecuniary loss caused to the government. The UPSC shall be consulted before any final orders are passed. Here, a part of the pension is withheld or withdrawn. The amount of such pension shall not reduce below the amount of Rs 9,000. Rule 9.4. It is about departmental or judicial proceedings. In case of any government servant against whom any departmental or judicial proceedings are instituted, or where departmental proceedings are continued, a provisional pension as per Rule 69 shall be sanctioned. Rule 9.5. Recovery of pecuniary loss not exceeding 1/3 of the pension. The recovery of pecuniary loss shall not be made at a rate exceeding 1/3 of the pension admissible on the date of retirement. Rule 9.10. Reiteration of provisions of Central Civil Services Pension Rules 1972 in the matter of irregularly withholding of gratuity, pensionary benefits on account of disciplinary proceedings, etc. Departmental proceedings, if not instituted while the government servant was in service, whether before his retirement or during his re-employment, shall not be instituted save with the sanction of the President. That is, the sanction of the President is must. Shall not be in respect of any event which took place more than 4 years before such institution, and shall be conducted by such authority and in such place as the President may direct, and in accordance with the procedure applicable to the departmental proceedings in which an order of dismissal from service could be made in relation to the government service during his service. Departmental proceedings shall be deemed to be instituted on the date on which the statement of charge is issued to the government servant or pensioner, or if the government servant has been placed under suspension from an earlier date on such date. The disciplinary authority shall keep in mind that the minor penalty under the Rule 16 of CCS-CCA rule, proceeding instituted against a government servant have to be finalized before the date of retirement. If the departmental proceedings under the Rule 14 have not been instituted before the officer's retirement, they cannot be instituted after retirement, except with the sanction of the President. Also, departmental proceedings cannot be instituted against retired employee in respect of any event that took place more than 4 years before the date of institution of proceedings. Rule 10. Commercial employment after retirement. Every retired Group A officer should take the permission of the government before he accepts any commercial employment within 1 year of his retirement. The pensioner desired to accept post-retirement commercial employment required to obtain specific approval prior to undertaking the assignment. On obtaining the approval, he required to submit Form 25, application for permission to accept commercial employment within a period of 1 year after the retirement in the form of affidavit. Retired Group B officer should give intimation to the office if he required to take up a commercial employment within 1 year of the retirement. No pension shall be payable to the pensioner who accepts such an employment without prior permission in respect of any period for which he is so employed, or such longer period as the government may direct. The government servant who has been permitted by the central government to take up a particular form of employment under any government outside India during his leave preparatory to the retirement shall not be required to obtain subsequent permission for his continuance in such employment after retirement. Rule 10.8a. Definition of commercial employment. An employment in any capacity, including that of an agent under a company, cooperative society, firm, or individual engaged in trading, commercial, industrial, financial, or professional business, and also includes directorship of such company and partnership of such firm, but does not include employment under a body or corporate, wholly or substantially owned or controlled by the central government or a state government. Rule 12. Employment after retirement under a government outside India. A retired Group A officer should take the prior permission of the central government before he accepts any commercial employment outside India. If prior permission is not obtained, no pension will be paid to him. If government servant has been permitted by the government to take up the employment outside India during his leave preparatory to retirement, then no subsequent permission is required for continuing the same after retirement. In this video, we have discussed about the general conditions for pension. If you have any doubt or want any clarification, then you can contact through the mail as shown on the screen. For other videos on rules and regulations, you can visit the web address as shown. Thank you.